What's up YouTube? My name is Caden and you're watching Gas It Garage. Today we're going to be reviving this old yard cart that I just picked up on Facebook Marketplace. Enjoy the video. Alright guys, so I just picked up this old yard cart on Facebook Marketplace, actually in a trade. If you remember when I built the Goofy mini bike, the one with the steering wheel and the go-kart seat on it, I was going to sell that thing, but I actually traded it for this old go-kart right here. And in this episode, we're going to be reviving this thing, getting the engine running, and hopefully getting it to drive. And then in the next video, we're going to be doing a stage 2 build on this engine and making this thing into a drift machine. So this is going to be a pretty awesome build and I can't wait. So we're going to go ahead and get started by addressing the tires on this thing, because that one does hold air, but it is bald. I may leave it for now though. This one needs to be rebeaded, and the two rear ones need to be inflated, and they're also missing the valve stems. So I ordered some new ones already, so let's go ahead and get started with that, and then we can move on to installing some pedals on this thing. All right guys, so my brother is the cameraman today. So we're gonna start by fixing the tires on this thing. And over here, I've got some new parts for this thing from Go Power Sports. I've got a mechanical brake caliper right here. I have a brake cable and some new valve stems that we're going to be putting in these tires right here. This one is actually seated on the bead, which is nice, but it needs a valve stem. This one needs a valve stem, but it's not seated on the bead. And then this one just needs to be rebeaded. And also, these seats are going in the garbage because they're terrible. So I'm actually gonna order a Go Power Sports bucket seat for this thing, because I'm gonna turn this thing into a drift machine, and you're gonna want something to hold you in when you're going around a drift. So let's get started by getting the valve stems in these tires and getting them inflated. Alright, so after a lot of struggling, I finally got the tires rebeaded and the new valve stems put in. But this tire, as you can probably hear, has a leak in it. So I may have to get new front tires for this thing, especially considering the fact that I think they're actually two different size front tires, which is a little weird. And also I noticed this tire back here, unless it's inflated like really high pressure, it will actually leak out the bead right there. So I'm just going to keep this one at a higher pressure, which is a little sketchy, but it kind of is what it is with this thing. So I also noticed that this is like literally zip tied in, which is a little sketchy, but it's going to go anyway because I'm putting a bucket seat in here. But Yep, that tire just died. So I do have to get this old clutch off of here because this is for 35 chain and that is 420, I believe. So I'll need to do that. And I will be putting a torque converter on this thing for more power. So next thing I want to do is adjust the steering because as you can see, it is like towed out like crazy. So I'll probably just cut the spindle and bend it a little bit. And then we can make some pedals. And speaking of pedals, I actually found this thing in my pile of junk parts. This is an old pedal that I used for an old project before I even started on YouTube, and I just kept it for something just like this. And I think with a little bit of trimming, it will fit right there and be a good brake pedal. So let's go ahead and fix the steering, and then I'll put this thing in and I'll have to make a gas pedal. All right, guys, so we got the brake pedal hooked up right here along with the brake cable, and I welded the steering wheel on and got the front wheels about 90% straightened out. I can straighten them out the rest of the way a little bit more later. But right now, we're gonna hold off on the gas pedal for a minute because I wanna try and get this brake caliper hooked up with the brake cable here. Now this brake disc on here is kind of small and super crusty. So I'm not sure how well the brakes are going to work or how long these brake pads are going to last in here with that thing being the way it is, but we're going to try it anyway. So let's go ahead and get these brakes hooked up, or at least try. All right, guys, so I'm actually out of cutoff wheels for the grinder, so I'll have to hold off on making a gas pedal for right now. So for the time being, let's go ahead and try and remove this rusty old clutch off of here that's completely seized. It might be a little interesting getting this thing off just because it's so bad, but I'm gonna try my best. And we're gonna be putting a 30 series torque converter on this thing for a little bit more low-end power. And then I'm also going to be attempting to get this engine running. It's super janky. It just has this little like 1.5 inch long header right here. It has a terrible spark plug connection, no air filter, no choke lever thingy, and no air box, no like anything on here, not even a throttle linkage, because it looks like the governor was deleted on this thing, and I'm hoping the previous owner did a good job with that, because I really don't want this thing to blow up. Also the super janky pull cord, but it's not stupid if it works, right? So what I do need to do is get this old hard fuel line off of here, drain whatever disgusting fuel is in here out, probably clean the carburetor, maybe put an air filter on it, and definitely a better spark plug cable, but I'll probably do that later because it can still run like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and start diving into this thing and getting it running. All right, so I'm gonna worry about this clutch later, just because it's gonna be a lot more work than I thought to get it off. My puller is actually broken, so I can't really use that. So I'll have to figure this out later, but for right now, let's go ahead and start trying to get this thing running. Alright guys, I just cleaned the carburetor on this thing and I tested for spark, so both of those things are good. So I want to see if this thing will at least fire off on some brake clean. I don't have any gasoline hooked up to it yet, obviously because there's no fuel tank, but I just want to see if it'll fire off. That was something. All right, I'll call that running. It's not running great because little short tiny header, and it's running on brake clean with no gas or throttle control or anything, and no air filter. So I'm gonna see if I have an air filter for this thing. If I don't, I can probably just run it temporarily without one, because I am going to be completely rebuilding this engine in the future, soon actually. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust the valves on this thing real quick, just to make sure those are in spec, and then I'll go out and buy some more cut-off wheels for the grinder and go ahead and make a gas pedal for this thing. So actually, real quick, before we do the gas pedal, I want to replace the front wheels and tires with these 13-inch ones that I got on Amazon, because the front ones here are like really, really bad. This one's bald, and that one over there isn't seated on the bead, and it just doesn't hold air, as you saw earlier. So the front wheels and tires are kind of done on this thing. So I'm gonna throw these on, and they'll look better and hopefully perform a little bit better than these would. So we'll throw these on, and then we'll make the gas pedal. All right, guys, now that the super janky gas pedal is done, now we can go ahead and put on the torque converter, because I was able to remove that old rusty clutch on there. I actually had to cut it off, unfortunately, so I'm not going to be able to reuse it because it just was not coming off without cutting it. The crankshaft is a little bit ground down a little bit, but it's okay, I think. The keyway is still intact. So we should be able to mount the torque converter on here pretty easily. So let's go ahead and do that. And then after that, I'll probably mount the gas tank, hook up a fuel line, and then we might actually be able to kind of take this thing for a little bit of a test drive once I hook up fuel to it. All right, guys, so I just got the chain and torque converter on this thing, and the engine kind of where it needs to be. So I also put a muffler on there just so it's not like stupid loud. And I threw this old seat on here. So let's take this thing for a quick test drive real quick. All right, the question is, can I get it to start and not run away on me? All right, let me grab some brake clean real quick. Idle it up a little bit. All right, I just idled this thing up. Let's see if it'll run. All sketchy right here. I just realized I can't like use the gas and hold the camera at the same time. It's gonna be a little sketchy. Okay, this thing is literally running like garbage. I'm gonna work on this part. Okay, yeah, it's kind of running like garbage. So I'm gonna work on this carburetor a little bit off camera, and then we'll try this again. All right, guys, so unfortunately I have to end the video here just because I have not had a lot of time to film this week, and I've gotten a little bit behind schedule because of work, family stuff, and I've just been like super busy lately, and I haven't had as much time to film as I wanted to. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to actually take this thing for a test drive today just because I'm completely out of time, and I still have to go edit this video. So we did get a lot done in this video though. We put new tires on this thing. We got some pedals built. We put the brakes on and got the engine running along with the torque converter and chain and everything. And then I also put some valve stems in the rear tires on this thing. So in the next video of this project, I'm going to be probably putting a different carburetor on this thing, and then we'll take it for a test drive so I can see how it performs and kind of set the bar at, for like top speed and stuff for when we put a stage 3 kit in this engine, which I will probably get to in the next video. And I'm super excited about it because I've never actually done a full build on a Predator 212. I've done a Predator 420 on my drag bike. Be sure to go check that video out. Super cool. That thing is incredibly fast. But I've been really wanting to do one on a small go-kart like this for quite a while now. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting in a billet rod, billet flywheel, a cam, valve springs. I might shave the head, and I'm also going to be putting a 24mm carburetor on there, and I'm going to be porting out the valves to really get this thing up there in the horsepower range. So I'm super excited about that, so be sure to subscribe for that video. And again, sorry I wasn't able to get some ride footage in this video, but that engine just is not wanting to run right with that old carburetor on there. So I'll probably throw a new one on and start the next video off with a test drive. So be sure to subscribe for that. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.